As a player, an honest player, a runner, someone who'd give you everything, every minute of every single game and in training as well. But my main memories really as him as a person. I was new into the full-time professional football environment, and Stanno welcomed us, and was a really good character to have around at the change room. Someone for younger players to look up to and admire, but also someone who, like I say, went out of his way to make you feel welcome, and was part of a really good dressing room we had at the time.
I mean, any player you speak to, played alongside him, said his tireless energy was perfect for, as a defender, you could send those long balls forward to clear the danger and he'd always be chasing them down, wouldn't he?
Without a doubt, you could clear the ball anywhere you wanted or put the ball anywhere behind the opposition back line, and Stanno would chase him. And his willingness to run was incredible. I've not seen that willingness matched in the rest of my career, both as a player or as a coach or a manager. So that's something he had in abundance, and it's incredible where he got that energy from. Because he just kept on going and kept on going, and even when he had nothing left in his legs, he'd find a little bit more in there as well. So a really honest lad, and he had a little bit of quality to add to that as well, which is why he had such a good career.
You mentioned how strong the dressing room was. I mean, was that partly down to him and his character, and how he made everyone feel welcome and good about themselves?
Yeah, I think we had a good balance at the time. We had some good, young, eager players that, like Exeter always does. And then we had some more experienced bodies, the likes of Rob Edwards and Marcus Stewart in and around that time. And then we had the more local lads as well, who loved playing for Exeter. It meant the world to them. They gave it absolutely everything. But they were good characters. They were great to play with. They were great to spend social time with. They were great to go and have a beer with. But really good people as well. Like I said, treated people in the right manner, and that was testament to the environment we had at the time, and Stanno was very much part of that.
And for Stanno, family was everything to him, wasn't it?
Yeah. Obviously, the young children coming through, and obviously his wife. He was a family man. He'd train hard, and then he'd go on and spend time with his family. But like I say, he's remembered fondly by all really, and everyone associated with the football club. And it's something we're never going to forget in terms of what he did and what he stood for. And the fans will rightly sing his name whenever possible. And we've got the flags and we've got the banners and we've got the stand named after him. And we continue to support his family, but also the Adam Stansfield Foundation as well, which is doing great causes in and around the local communities. It's great when someone from the local area does so well at a club which is close to their heart, and that's where you get that special relationship with the fans.
I mean, his passing came so soon after he rejoined the squad for pre-season training in 2010. I mean, as a team, how did you deal with, when the news was broken, and how did you manage to work through that?
It was difficult, but it must have been more difficult for ones closer to him and the family members. The initial shock of the diagnosis was a real difficult one to take, and then obviously he had the surgery, and you'd hope, and you were thinking he was making progress in terms of his recovery, but then the way it came about towards the end, it happened pretty quickly, and it was obviously a shock and a really difficult time for all involved, but like I say, it must have been a tragic time for the family and the close friends of Stanno, but all we could do was support each other. It certainly put football on the back step, and there was a lot more important things at the time, and how Paul and the management at the time and the club handled that was admirable, because they went through an awful lot in relation to that, and since then the club have supported the people and the family as well as they possibly can, but that shock, and I remember the game, I think we were at home to Ipswich in the then League Cup, I don't know, the Carabao Cup now, and we were on the pitch at the time, and you could hear murmurs and a few bits and pieces from the stands, and obviously that was something which we were mindful of during that game. And then as soon as we got into the change room at the end of the game, the lads were heartbroken, and the ones who were closest to him, the likes of Tully and Logie, it was a really distressing time for them. So you had to support each other, you had to get each other through it. The funeral was something I'd never forget. And the amount of people, not only on the streets but in the cathedral as well, was incredible to see and to witness. But it's something you have to somehow get yourself through. And like I say, as close as we were to Stanno, the family and the ones closest to him must have felt the hardship at the time.
If you would pick one memory that sticks out when you think of him? What would it be?
Probably his smile. You'd walk past him, he'd smile, he'd say hello, he'd smile. You'd have a beer with him, he'd smile. He'd train, he'd run after a ball, he'd keep on smiling. He's just his attitude and his personality. And he'll be remembered as a footballer, but the type of person he was second to none. And that's what we all remember him for the most here. And like I say, when I first came to the club, that's why I remember more than anything. The way he welcomed us in and the smile and the personality which he had to go with it.